Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Alien Legacy on Linux, and let's get going. So we're going to hit load our save game. So, when we last left off, we found something in Tantalus. We've got, they'd like us to invest some science resources to develop the Trionide Solenoid, and then upgrade power plants as needed. We need to go to Rhea and pick something up. We need to do some stuff on Prometheus as well. So, let's go ahead and start at Rhea. Explore. Now, if we wanted to get to Rhea quickly, if we wanted to get to Prometheus quickly, we could have just sent a mission to Rhea. Spurs! There we go. That's it. Crashed ship. While examining a crashed freighter, you notice an unusual module in the control panel. You make out the letters ERROSENSOM on the module, which you take for further study. Oh, that triggered something interesting. So, around here we might as well get some. As you draw near, a small flock of floating jellyfish-like creatures in the air here. Expel their... Okay, that's just interesting. Expel their buoyant grasses and drop to the ground. Sorry, I couldn't parse the sentence. Salt rocks covering the ground are very dense. Our fuel is too low to use the scanner, so we're just going to fly around until we fill up on... We're going to go back to Rhea and then talk to the scientist. The diary we found at the Tantalus colony site indicates that they developed a special filter which allowed them to find more natural resource deposits. I think we should follow up on the clues in the diary. No, we found a module to steal. We stole a module out of a wrecked freighter. Or I guess it's salvaged. But, there was no such thing. Vehicle manager to Prometheus, and we're going to do some exploring. We've got no people on this, so unload, and then we gotta go land. Landing. Okay. What I said about each unit of energy is 1,000. That's why we only had 1,000 left, so we'll hit 1 energy. Yes, computer. I have completed the routine scan of Prometheus with our sensors. Evidence suggests an ATV of comparable design and technology level to one of our own is sending out a faint yet detectable homing signal somewhere in sector I-0. It is impossible to determine the condition or nature of this ship from here. An exploration of the area is advised. Well, near as I can tell, come on, flying around. So, my first experience with this game was... My first experience with this game was when my father bought it some 15 years ago. I didn't know that, but the text basically said, Rhea Sector 0 for recon mission. So, there was some just close to the surface here, so we're just gonna take it. So, that is so important, and we're going to go explore Prometheus. So, go to our PDA, and A0. So a possible site for studying the atmosphere of Rhea. That's the same thing, so... It's nice about it. If you've already seen that one during the current run, it will pop up another find icon. Still something here. Oh. 2 pieces of life support. Probably a couple O2 tanks or something. Inside a science post, half buried in dust, you find a diary some scientists left behind. One entry reads, "The unusual crystals we found were sent to Petrovsky at his private laboratory on Area Sector B11. If anyone can make something useful with crystals, it's Petrovsky." Okay. Military. Captain, we've discovered a diary that belonged to a scientist from the Tantalus. It would appear that we need to explore areas around Perla B, Meridian 11. Thanks. So, I've got 2 life support here. Can I do a cross ship to Prometheus? Yes, I can. So, ship to Prometheus, just like we did with Rhea. Send. Yeah, if you notice, yes, we can have the Calypso go do stuff. It's too big to explore, so all I can do is probe, but we can actually send the Calypso to different planets if we wanted to. It's very, even compared to our little ships, it is extraordinarily slow, and it takes hundreds of turns just to move to, say, Rhea from here. It would probably take 100 turns to get from Rhea to Prometheus, which are right next to each other. It is that slow. So that was the other reason why we built the ship. Out of curiosity, can we get too close? Nope, too far away. This early in the game, being able to transship like that is really, really convenient. Which is also why we get a really Alpha 5 vehicle production facility pretty quickly. What's that? Some life support, and in an empty outpost dome, you find the electronic lab of the late eccentric genius, Anton Petrovsky. In the memory chips of his Max 9000 notebook computer, you find sketches of an unusual radio and some mathematical equations. Okay, scientist. The data we covered from Dr. Anton Petrovsky's Max 9000 computer would indicate that he's working on something called transcendental radiation. That's tech speak for BS. The most intriguing note he left was one that reads, QED, turn on the light and you will see. Just that's actually now a piece of technology we can go and research in the Tech Manager. And it is one of the more crucial pieces of tech to have, but it's also one of the more... Really? Captain, scouts from our second colony on Gaia report a possible crashed ship of some kind along Meridian I. They are picking up some kind of energy signature near Sector 33. Ooh, another crashed ship. Captain, Gaia is an ideal place to centralize our communication relay system for our colonies. I'm sure Captain Johansson came to the same conclusion. That is why I suggest we concentrate an exploration mission near the center of Gaia. My best guess would place an existing array along the D or F parallels where meridians 15 and 16 intersect them. Thank you, Colonel. We'll get back to you on that. So, no product chosen. We're going to go offline with that. We're going to make that big robots. Or not robots. We're going to have that dig stuff out of the ground. So, fortunately, I took all the ships out of play, so we're going to go and turn this online. Build ourselves. Go ahead and start building ourselves some stuff. Military. Sir, one of my men located a computer data chip at the communications center on Gaia, F-30. The chip had seemed to be discarded by a Tantalus settler. Included on this ship were some transfer orders pointing to Sector F5 on Prometheus. We should dispatch a probe there immediately and explore that sector for any remnants of colony being there. Thank you, Colonel. Prometheus. F5 on Prometheus. Which happens to be right next door to us. Solar power station, you find a torn wall hanging. It appears to be a recruiting potion read, "Join the pioneers on Ares. Sector H2 is not for cowards." Okay. I have no idea what it happens to be with the data chip, but we'll run with it. We'll go over to Ares. Yeah, there's a lot of early stuff that goes out to Ares that's kind of important to have. Okay. H2. Sand dunes slowly cover the geodesic dome of the recruiting station. In what must have been the administrative offices, you find some notes on the desk. Further samples of the alloy must wait until we get new samples from Prometheus. Grandpa will camp in Sector B10. Sends us right back to Prometheus. Welcome to this game. Okay. Have anything on? Yeah, we have stuff on the club, so we are going to do this again because Ares could really use people. Actually, before we do that, we're gonna go exploring because that craft ship is important enough for them to tell us about it, which means we want it. Yes. What's that? An experimental spacecraft from the Tantalus crash-landed on a deserted island, staying devastating damage. A large section of the prototype engine has survived. Wind! You can barely make out RMIN-2 stenciled on the engine's housing. Okay, now we send it to... Now we're going to cross-ship to Ares. Ares. Yeah, those 2 turns moved Ares quite a bit away from us. We definitely need more. Oops, not Alpha 5. Vehicles. Transport Ares, and then on Ares, we send it to Calypso. Alright, Navigator Wu, what do you have to say? We've located an experimental ship from Tantalus, sir. It appears to have been using some new engine prototype. We'll put our best teams on it at once. We'll need 2 research labs on the Calypso or on a space site, assigned to physics research to further aid our efforts. The zero-G environment will let us perform specific tests on the prototype to gain an understanding from it. Yes. We're going to go do that now because it's important. We already had someone doing physics. We're going to build another physics. That yellow dot there means you can upgrade the facilities. Habitats, basically, with everything but habitats, you need a certain piece of technology to allow for the upgrade. All it really does is it makes it consume resource faster, produce whatever it was producing faster, and produce more of its stuff. So, but with habitats, each level of habitat just requires that you have filled had filled 2 of that maximum level. So if your population is over 200, you can start building level 2 habitats. In fact, you lose the ability to make level 1s, regardless of whether or not you upgraded any of them. The other thing is, if you upgrade any habitats, if you upgrade any facilities, you can no longer build the newer level. A little irritating, but it's the way the game is. And so when they're off, but the habitats will just contain basically more people. So if I update this one right here, if I upgrade this one right here, it'll take, and this one, and this one. We'll go ahead and leave that one as it is. These will all be able to hold 200 people, Once 2 of those fill up, we'll be able to have 200, and we'll be able to basically go up to 300 people, and then 4, 6, and the final level is 1,000 each. Yeah. So, change product, physics, and we're going to do a little bit of hacks here. This factory, I'm going to shut that off, and shut that off. Yeah, without really that on. 3, 2, 1. And that's what I meant about, that is what I meant right there about when you build a factory, you can basically build a factory, set it while it's building, and then the first thing it produces when it comes out will always do that. It will take all the resources to do it, but you'll get the item out of it. So there you go. And so that basically saved us, so if we dismantle that, that saved us 10 turns to build a vehicle at somewhere. Just wonderful. Transport Alpha 5. So now we have, let's go ahead and check the tech manager. Capable of inventing. The device we're working on should improve the efficiency of our power plants. This always gets me. Super dense microceramic. It's the most densest materials known, but it's ceramic, so it's fragile. It's really dense and really fragile. I don't quite understand how that works, but I'm not a materials scientist. The shiitake meat synthesizer converts grain protein into meat protein. The process requires shiitake mushrooms, and the energy required to convert the protein is 20 times as great as which is being derived from meat. Aside from being of historical curiosity, this process has no other redeeming value. You can make tasty steaks from mushrooms. And the thing that in the initial thing you don't see in the initial text that we missed was shiitake mustards are kind of hard to cultivate here. So, yeah, completely useless. We're going to go ahead and leave that one alone for the moment. This is important. We are trying to develop a better method for relocating natural resources. We are testing several filters. We're going to go ahead and get that one. And this one is also really important, so we're going to go build a research library to go looking for chemistry resources somewhere. It was designing a radio that warps nearby space to a limited degree by flooding it with transcendental radiation, whatever that means. A large solid object, say a planet, bathed by the radiation would show a series of anomalies. Of course, we don't know what precisely meant by transcendental radiation. Yeah. We're gonna... physics. We're gonna go ahead and just build a third research lab in Calypso, chemistry, and there we go. We're gonna set it offline. Oop. Captain, we figured out what the Tantalus scientists are up to. The letters in the side of the craft ship are undoubtedly RAMIKIN2. Apparently, they were trying to adapt the Ramekin engine that the Tantalus and our Calypso use. We have apparently the Ramekin Mark I. They have the Ramekin Mark II. Into a working model for smaller spacecraft. Scientist Patel may be able to offer more information. She has been studying the prototype quite diligently. Apparently the Ramekin, according to the specs, though, the Ramekin was only about 0.04% more efficient than the previous engine the Calypso uses. I guess the Ramekin, if you had a really small Ramekin and it worked really well, you'd be more efficient, but yeah. Scientists. Sir, the Ramekin engine proposal is vitally important to survival here. Its creation will give us greater fuel capacity per ship, and since the engine is smaller, it will increase the ship's cargo capacity as well. Win! The proposal that Navigator Wu and I myself have come up with is listed in the Tech Manager for your authorization. Go ahead and shut these off for the moment. And go to the Tech Manager. This is really important. Quick note, almost everything will require math and physics. Most things will require electronics and chemistry. At least one of them. We are currently working on a more efficient spacecraft engine, Captain. We are a bit worried about radiation leaks, however. So we need to research some astronomy, some chemistry, some electronics, and some math. So we're going to bring our labs back online. Make that one astronomy. We're going to make that one chemistry. Actually, we're going to make that one electronics and just turn that one on. Okay, we're going to shut that. We're going to bring that one offline. So, because we don't need any more vehicles here. Let's go check our vehicle. Let's go to the command. Let's go to Prometheus. Build. Basics down here so we don't forget about it. And that B10 Rambo camp place. Or B11. B10. Chemistry is pretty common. Astronomy is very rare. Math and physics are really rare. Biology is common as heck on the terrestrial planets, and electronics is kind of rare, but it can be found. On the non-terrestrial planets, your most common is probably, what's this? A glint of reflected sunlight leads you to a rock outcropping where you find a greenish metal. Singular. Oh, it was important, whatever that was. Science. The metal substance we unearthed on Prometheus is most interesting. Our metallurgy staff would like to carry out a more thorough examination on it. It might lead to more resistant spacecraft plating or some other useful invention. Captain, with all the recent and innovative technologies, I suggest we begin upgrading our research labs to allow larger, more productive teams to work together. Yeah, that's the other thing. Research labs, the upgrades in research labs are locked basically by whenever your advisor says it's a good idea. So let's switch that to math. Speed things up a bit, and then we're going to just upgrade all three of these. And we're going to go ahead and send a probe out to, well, Ares is right out. Hermes. The red was one of those. So, there we go. Because we kind of do need a ship. We need to be able to do ships there. Tech manager. We need mathematics and that. And then 2, 1, done. Math, electronics, astronomy. See, everything basically takes a little faster. At the highest speed, physics research takes like 2 turns.
Eureka!
During our initial testing of the subwarp radio, we recorded an anomaly at or near sector D21 on Hermes. I have no idea if this was a glitch during testing, or more likely background noise, but I still suggest we check it out, sir. Thank you, Colonel Romanoff. That's quite alright. We'll get around to it. We, in fact, just sent a ship to Hermes. It's convenient to have a ship basically everywhere. Okay, we need more electronics. Should be done in 3 turns. We're going to go ahead and make that one physics instead of astronomy. Go to the tech manager. Okay, let's see if I can find it. This is that alloy that she was talking about. It appears that the molecules change polarity continuously when placed in an external electric field. They act somewhat like miniature dynamos. At this point, the overall charge in the middle is 0. We're not sure what use, if any, the alloy has. We've perfected this ferrocentimeter, which will prove most useful in locating new ore deposits. It detects anomalies in magnetic fields which point to ore. The sensor is being added to all of our spacecraft. Also, our factories on PlanetSide will now be able to dig up richer sources of ore at their current locations. Dr. Petrowski's ideas help us create the subwarp radio. By amplifying and transmitting mental theta waves at a surface as large as a moon or planet, we can create resonance between what the brain can conceptualize and what is physically on the planet's surface. Thus, we are able to detect anomalies on surface and face from spacecraft. We may be able to use this process to track down clues to the fate of the Tantalus. This thing is the cheat radio. This is the cheat scanner. Our scanners are pointing Hermes. The telemetry data will be downloaded in the ship's library soon. Subwarp radio is it's hacks, honestly. Okay, we need that. We'll go ahead and leave our mathematics and engineering, electronics to research, because we could use that too. Prometheus, we got the bare minimum here. Colony manager, Tokyo. Hello to Tokyo. We are going to build a research lab. We found this research lab in New Tokyo, and it will research electronics. We're also going to do those, because it's important. Colony manager, Alpha 5, or Rhea. Oh wow, Rhea is... Oh, Rhea. Exploration. We need to send... Okay, this is the subwarp radio. As you can see, it takes quite a bit of energy. All of the question mark things that show up are some sort of anomaly. Other icon that shows up... Just my mind. There it is. Is convenient. Is something like this, or that exclamation point marker. In the ruins of a private home, you find part of a diary. One passage reads, May 2150, last message from Earth. Very upsetting. I wish Captain Johansson had not dismantled the Tantalus. No escape. Okay, so apparently our predecessor, that's why we didn't find a ship market, she took it apart. Interesting. But yeah, the other ones, these are all research. Sinking during the Rift Valley. So when you have the time available, you can use it to basically strip with this scanner and then the fully upgraded scanners later. You can basically strip mine a planet of all of its explored resources. It is really time intensive. I'm not going to do it, especially not to one of these players with planets. So, and we're going to transport to out of time. Oh, Calypso. What's going on? Okay, no, Calypso's fine. So, 2000 still. So we're going to go back to our PDA and take a look. We've got to deal with Hermes, which we'll go and deal with now. Invent the Ramekin engine. Get that thing in Rhea. We can go back to Rhea and do that research, do that thing. The subwarp radio, we can just find it. However, we are about out of time here, so we are going to save the game. Hopefully this recorded right. And we will see you next time.